Just Tracy. We are doing the last video in the Ixalan set overview, and I'm really excited. I want to talk about a couple of things before we jump into the cards. I want to get your opinion on the format of how I've been doing these set overviews. I've been doing these for a while. I haven't been doing it for the last couple of sets. This is like the first one I've done in like a couple of months. I don't even remember the last one I did. It may have been like a really long time. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think of this format, how I talk about these cards. I just don't like, I know a lot of people, what they do is like they'll film like videos as the cards come out. I just think that's just way too much content. Like I can't pump out content like that fast. You know, if I'm working like a double, like there's just no way like in my schedule I could just realistically do that. So yeah. Why are you guys, I feel like you guys are still out of focus. Okay, not out of focus, I'm off center. But yeah, I just want to know what your opinion of these are, because I've kept this format like the same. Like I haven't changed it, I haven't done anything differently, and this is always how I've handled talking about these sets. Yeah, now I want to get into, we're going to be talking about lands, artifacts, and multicolored cards in this video. This is kind of like my catch-all section. And I have to say something that I feel like sets don't really come together until this part, because first off, it's like the last thing that I'm really looking at. Like I look at each of the colors individually and then I look at this. So I can kind of look objectively at the set. And the second thing is I find myself getting super excited about multicolored cards, which I'm going to do a video, I think it may go up next week, on talking about like tips for like doing sealed, or like tips for just playing in limited in general. One of those videos is going to go up next week, and just because I think it makes sense with this set coming out and whatnot, because I know a lot of people do sealed stuff like for the actual release weekend, so I think it'd be helpful for people who are doing that it really shapes the whole set for me, because I don't know, I just think there's a lot of really sweet multicolored cards in this set in particular. And again, you guys can totally tell like when I'm enthusiastic about cards. You can tell if I'm indifferent. You can tell if I'm like, yeah, this card's sweet, but I'm not like super crazy. I'm obsessed with like the multicolor in this set. I think there's fantastic stuff for limited in here, and I'm just really excited about what's going to be going on in the multicolored. So let's get into it. So the first card I want to talk about is a land, and that is Unclaimed Territory. ATBs, you choose a creature type, you add 1 mana colorless to your pool, and you add 1 mana of any color to your pool to cast that creature of the chosen type. So I love the flexibility in this land. I love that it doesn't enter the battlefield tapped. I think that was like a really nice touch. All tribal decks are definitely looking out for this card. I love the little bit of fixing that it offers. I think it's definitely pushing people into going to 2, potentially even 3 colors to do some potentially tri-color decks, which I think is super spicy, and I love that. I love when people just dash in like a 3rd color for just some flavor and, you know, for some sweet cards, especially these multicolor cards, because there's just such a juice in there. I think a lot of decks in this, you know, this is a very tribal themed set where it's very heavy on the specific tribes. I think this card's very essential and definitely really solid mana fixing, so I really like this card. Okay, then I want to briefly mention the, guys, I'm sorry, are these the buddy lands? I don't know. Everyone always corrects me on what these are called. There's so many land types in this game, I don't even know what people call these officially. They're not like official or anything, but the people who use them, these types of lands. I really like these lands a lot. Again, I think they're very important in this set. Definitely something that you want to look out for. Again, don't be like me and not put in mana fixing when you're drafting. Don't be that guy, because I'm that guy. Don't do that. Draft your mana fixing. Make sure you're putting your mana fixing in. It's a little bit easier in sealed when you're a little more controlled and you're like, okay, cool, I have like this land, I'm gonna put this land in, you know. But definitely excited that these cards are being reprinted, and think that they're a really solid addition to the set. Because I always feel like they try to come out with like new lands, and I'm like, sometimes like doing, you know, the old lands that already existed are totally fine. Like reprints are fine. Okay, now let's get into the artifacts, and I have said this so many times. Artifacts, enchantments have to be really great to have me to talk about them, and I'm talking about a couple. So that means, you know, I really like them. Okay, so the first one is Thaumic Compass. Ooh, boy. This card's sweet. Okay, it's funny is I'm looking at all of these cards too to be like, this card's going to be used in EDH, this card's going to be used in Modern. Like I keep looking at all these cards and I'm like, this is definitely going to be used. I think I'm going to do a video talking about the influence of this set in Modern, because I think there's just great stuff in here. Okay, first, so it's 2 mana. 4 mana, you search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Now, honestly, I think they could have just said put this on the battlefield tapped. I think it's a little mana, or cut it down by like 1 mana to have it like 2 mana. I think it's kind of a lot, but it's also colorless, so it lends itself to, you know, you can use any amount of mana to tap for it, which is nice. And at the beginning of your unstep, if you control 7 or more lands, which is super easy to do, like really, you transform it. And then for this land, which is Spires of Orazca, you add colorless to your pool, and then you untap target attacking creature and opponent controls and remove it from combat. Card is really sweet. I think this card is absolutely incredible. I think it belongs in a bunch of different types of decks. Sometimes I get really annoyed that cards are very specific towards one type of deck, but I love that this can work in like a ton of different things. Like, I don't even think you have to just, when you're drafting or when you're playing sealed, like I don't think you have to reserve this for like a green deck. I think this works in any decks. I love that it gets you mana, and I love that it has that bonus that, you know, your reward when you get like 7+ lands and you switch to this sweet land, and you know, it turns to very defensive cards. So wholeheartedly in love with this card. Definitely something that you want to look out for. Okay, another another artifact that we're talking about is Conquerors Galleon, and let me tell you something, guys, I'm not a huge fan of vehicles. I don't like them. I think that's part of the reason too why I like stopped like the last couple sets I just didn't like, because I was not a fan of vehicles and I really don't like them. I don't think they're good. I'm not a huge fan. However, I kind of like this one. First off, it's a 4 mana 2/10. Like, what? It's crew 4, which is kind of a lot, but whatever. When it attacks, you exile it at the end of combat, then return it transformed under your control. And now let me just tell you, this part and how much you're paying for it is just stupid, but like the land side, which is Conqueror's Foothold, is really good. You add colors to your pool. For 2 mana, you draw then discard. That's amazing. I love that ability. 4 mana, you just straight up draw a card. So if you've got like mad mana, yep, which you probably do because you're paying 4 mana and then you're crewing it for 4. Oh no, I'm sorry. Crewing it for 4. I'm sorry, you have to tap creatures to crew 4. My bad, I misspoke. And then for 6 mana, you return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Overall, all these modes are incredible. I think this card is absolutely fantastic. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this card being played more. And again, I'm not a vehicle person. I don't like them, but I like this card. Okay, cool. Then we have Primal Amulet. 4 mana. Instants and sorceries you cast cost 1 less. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you put a charge counter on it, and then if there are 4 or more, you transform it, and then it becomes Primal Wellspring. Add 1 mana of any color to your pool. When the mana is spent to cast an instant or sorcery, you copy it and choose new targets. Now, let me tell you something. I have said a lot of times that blue tends to underwhelm me in sealed and like limited in general, because I'm not a huge fan usually, and it's funny because I love blue like a whole lot. I really do. In controlled formats like modern, it's my color, straight up, no questions. For some reason though, in sealed, I always think that they downgrade blue and they don't give blue like enough love. I have very strong feelings about this. I did a whole video talking about how blue mages don't get love. So anyways, I find that blue in this set is really strong, and in my personal opinion, it is my favorite color. And I'm not saying that because I'm a blue mage. I'm saying that because I just think it's straight up the strongest color. I think there's just really incredible cards. I just noticed that, and I'm always the person who, I think white and black tend to be really solid colors. Again, I think blue is a very good support color a lot of times, but has a really difficult time standing on its own. Where like, I don't feel like you could easily make a deck that's like 70% blue and like 30% red, for example. It's kind of difficult to do that, but blue's like really good to like fill in the gaps in your deck, if that makes sense. And with a card like this, I'm not usually a huge fan of cards like this, but I really love this ability because I think there's a lot of really solid instants and sorceries. And I'm thinking too of like blue-black, for example. Black has a ton of removal cards. I'm thinking like the synergy with this card, you know, you have so many black removal cards that you just get to like double cast removal. I think that's incredible. I think blue-black's going to be a really great synergy for a card like this. So if you want to, I guess if you want, and if you do happen to be building like an instant sorcery, it doesn't even have to be like an is it kind of deck, because I know a lot of people associate like blue-red kind of with that stuff. Again, I think definitely look for blue-black with this for those removal spells. So overall, I'm really impressed with this card. I love the copying ability. I think that's really strong. And also too, just saying this card works really well with that green card that's like untap target land you control. By the way, that card's really good. works really well with this set. I actually forgot to talk about that card. I can't believe I forgot about it. Okay, sweet. Then we have Vanquishers Banner. 5 mana, colorless. Duh, it's an artifact. I don't know why I just said it was colorless. ADTBs, you choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type get +1/+1. Whenever you cast a creature spell of that type, you draw a card. Love this card, think it's incredible. Love the fact that you get a buff. Love the fact that you get to draw cards. I think this works in really good decks that tend to not have a lot of card draw, but then put this in like the Merfolk green blue. It's going to be busted because your dudes get a buff, and also you get to draw more cards because blue tends to have like the most card draw. So yeah, overall I think this card is amazing. I love it. I would definitely look out for this. I think this is going to be so busted in so many different decks. Love it. Okay, sweet guys. So that was talking about the artifacts. Really, I talked about like 4 artifacts, and that's usually 4 more than I actually ever talk about, so that's saying something. Vraska Relic Seeker. Okay, how could you just get this card and not run this card? Pack 1, pick 1, always run Vraska, splash for Vraska, no questions. Card is busted. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I can't say enough good things about this card. Honestly, straight up, guys. It's 6 mana for 6 loyalty. Already freaking crazy. What? I can't believe that. By the way, this card in Super Friend's gonna be stupid. And I'm thinking about taking that deck apart, and after seeing Braska, I'm kind of like, maybe I shouldn't take that deck apart because Braska's sweet. You uptick her by 2 to do a 2/2 Pirate with Menace. Absolutely, yes please. Creatures to block Vraska. Yep, tell me more. -3, destroy target artifact, creature, or enchantment. You create a colorless treasure with that whole thing. And like I said, I'm not a huge fan of these treasure tokens. Honestly, I think you could have just had this -3 say destroy target artifact, creature, or enchantment, and I would have been super pleased. But nonetheless, this ability is sweet. And you know, casually -10, target player's life total becomes 1. I mean, guys, how, if I ever see this card being passed in draft, I'm just gonna come to your house, bang down your door, and yell at you, because how would you not run this card? Overall, absolutely incredible. If you're playing Sealed this weekend, you play Braska, yes. Absolutely worth it. Again, you always splash for Braska. Like, if it's a set like this where it's like leaning towards 2 colors, no, you go 3 colors and you play for Braska, because she's dumb. She's incredible. I love her. New Planeswalkers. Oh man, I get so excited about Planeswalkers. I love them. Okay, then we have Huatli, a warrior poet. Like, warrior poet, yes, please. I totally need that in my life. Come on. 5 mana, starts off as 3 loyalty. +2, you gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. I think this is a really interesting mechanic to have in this color combination. I don't know why I always just tend to associate that as more of like a green thing, so I think that's cool. 0, love it. Create a 3/3 dinosaur with trample. Fantastic, love that. I love when Planeswalkers create tokens. I think that's great. And then you -X to deal X damage divided amongst you choose. Creature's damage can't be blocked this turn. Like, very standard, like, typical red thing, but I think this is incredible. Again, Planeswalkers just are straight up bombs. You pretty much just always play with the Planeswalker because they're always pretty much gonna be good. Yeah, huge fan of her. Think she's great. Okay, cool. Then we have Vena, Butcher of Magan. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I first read this card and I was really like confused, and then I read it again and I was like, wait, okay, never mind, like this makes sense. Because at first I was like, pay 7 life, I was like, that's a lot. It's 5 mana for a 4/4, vigilance and lifelink. You pay 7 life, which is such a weird number. Like 7? Okay. To destroy target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only during your turn. So overall, cards just straight up busted. Yeah, pack 1, pick 1-able, absolutely no questions. Cards just really amazing. So I love the fact that, like, okay, so I mentioned this a couple times about cards synergizing with themselves, because a lot of times some cards are so, like, independent that it requires, like, multiple cards to create a synergy. Cards like this synergize with themselves where you don't need a bunch of cards with lifelink. I mean, it certainly would help, but it's great because, like, you have the lifelink and then you pay that 7 life. Kind of reminds me of Griselbrand a little bit. Definitely less busted than Griselbrand, but kind of reminds me of it a little bit. Love the fact that it is vigilance, so it's not like you have to pick one or the other. Do you want to attack or do you want to pay the 7 life? Card is overall just really incredible. I think this card's absolutely fantastic. Okay, then we have Gishath Suns Avatar. Okay, So we have, oh, I mean, actually, I lied. This does have some tricolored stuff. Is this like the only tricolored thing? I feel like it's one of the only tricolored things. Maybe I'm wrong and there are more. Naya colored, 5 and 3, so 8 for 7, 6. Trample, Vigilance, Haste. Honestly, you could have just stopped there and I would have been super pleased by that. Like, what? This is dumb already. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Put any dinosaurs from among them into the battlefield and the rest of the bottom of your library. What is this? What is this card? Who authorized this? I love the fact that they authorized this card because it's so amazing. Like, honestly, straight up, again, you could have totally stopped with, like, the 8 mana. The fact that, like, the 8 mana 7/6 with Trample, Vigilance, and Haste, I mean, duh, that's, like, incredible. I mean, hello. Like, that's amazing. But the fact that it's, like, reveal those cards from the library, and then you put any dinosaurs just onto the battlefield. Like, you don't even have to put them to your hand. Like, overall, the amount of mana that you're paying for this is just busted for what you're getting. You're getting so much crazy value. Card is amazing. That's what I said. Like, I get so enthusiastic about multicolored cards because I feel like it comes together from it. Alright, then we have Infuriated Gladion. This is funny. I like how it's infuriated. I don't know why. Like, the wording choice is just really funny right there. So it is a 5 mana 5/5 with trample. Guys, I already like that. For an uncommon, like, duh. And then it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each other creature. I love this card. I think it is a busted uncommon. I think it's really incredible. I would have been really happy if this card was a rare too. I think for an uncommon, this is just a great body. Really love this dinosaur. I think it's great. Okay, then we have Sky Terror. I mean, who knew that Tracy was going to talk about this card? Guys, it's a 2 mana 2/2 Flying Menace. What is not to like about this card? If this card was like monocolored, it would be like 4 mana. But because it's dual colored, it's 2 mana. Let's just think about that real fast. Yeah, card's great. Oh boy, what did my computer do? No, go back. Baby, come back. Okay. Then we have Hostagetaker. By the way, Paul's very excited about the pirates. Best friend Paul, he's super into the pirates. He's very excited. Very exciting. All I'm waiting for is princesses, guys. All I'm waiting for. All I want is just a fairy tale princess deck. That's all I want out of my life, okay? Okay. 4 mana 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, exile target artifact or creature until it leaves the battlefield. You may cast it for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast. This card's awesome. Card's just great. I love it. I think it's sweet. You get to like exile like one of your opponent's things for 4 mana, which is great. And then you can cast their card. And you can pay any mana, so if they're playing a totally different color scheme than you, you just get to play their thing. This reminds me of like Bring to Light on steroids and on a creature. Overall, love this card. I think it's amazing. Okay, then we have Regisaur Alpha. Fantastic body. 5 mana 4/4, other dinosaurs you control at haste. You could have stopped there. You could have stopped there, but you didn't. You kept going. It enters the battlefield. You create a 3/3 dude with trample. Again, I love cards that synergize with themselves. This definitely does because you've created now 5 mana for 7 power. So it does say other dinosaurs you control have haste, so you can't swing with it this turn unless you have like 2 of them because you're a savage. And then it creates like a dude with trample. Overall, card's incredible. Love this card. Tishana, Voice of Thunder. Yes, I love this card. I love cards like this so much. Okay, it's power and toughness, your control number of cards in your hand. Classic, you have no maximum hand size. Classic blue, we love that. 80 TVs, draw a card for each creature you control. I think like 2, flavor-wise, I think they just perfectly mix the green and the blue together in this card. Like, sometimes I'll see, like, do you ever see, like, multicolored cards and you're like, that's totally, I know it says, like, green-blue, but it's definitely more of, like, a red card. Like, you know, sometimes it's just weird. Like, this I can totally understand why it's, like, this color combination. If that makes any sense at all. Overall, card's incredible. you know, it's basically like a big creature, and you get no maximum hand size, and you just get to draw a lot of cards. It's sweet because, like, I love it because, like, say you enter the battlefield and you only have, like, 2 cards in your hand when you play it. Okay, fine, it's a 2/2, but then, like, you get to draw, like, a bunch of cards for the amount of creatures, so it just automatically becomes bigger. And even if they kill your creature later on, you still get to draw the cards. This card's sweet, I love it. Okay, and then we have Call to the Feast. I love cards like this. I love token gen things. I said this before. It's 3 mana, create 3 dudes with lifelink. Very classic, very basic. Love the fact that it is lifelink. Think all kind of vampire token decks are definitely going to want to be seeing this floating around the table. Overall, a really solid uncommon, or even if you're not doing like vampire tribal, just a really solid card to have in this color combination. I like it. And the last card in this video, I think we're ending on a really strong note on Ixalan cards, is Scheepers of Nature. I'm telling you guys, green-blue has just got completely spoiled this round. 3 mana for a 3/3, like, that's already a sweet body on an uncommon. And then for 4 mana, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. And then for 3 mana, you remove it. You can remove a counter to draw a card. Overall, this card does a ton of different things. You give buffs to things. Putting +1/+1 counters on dudes is kind of a lot of mana. It is 4 mana, but, you know, if you play this in, like, late stages of the game, like, this, like, mid-range type thing, yo, card's sweet, because you pay 4 mana, like, hey, whatever. And then you can remove it to just draw cards, or you can just keep putting +1/+1 counters on cards. Like, come on. Card all around, very well-rounded, very great. It's funny, I'm like talking about this and I'm so enthusiastic about all those cards, and you watch like some of my other videos and I'm like not as enthusiastic, but obsessed with the multicolored. I think the multicolored really pulls everything together, so I'm very excited. But yeah guys, that was it. That was it for talking about Ixalan cards. If you made it through the end, you're awesome. Comment, do like a hashtag if you made it through to the end of the video, like hashtag Tracy is lit. Let's go. So if you're going to the pre-release, I wish you all the luck in the world. And hopefully you guys pull like super awesome stuff. So that is it. That is everything for this video. I will see you guys next week when we get back to our regularly scheduled programming. So I'll talk to you later.